Hello! In this tutorial, you will learn how to run a Forecaster Hub using AWS and then how to monitor it using the built-in Grafana dashboard. Let's go! We start by going to the AWS console, and because we need a computer to run the hub on, we'll go to EC2 and we will hit launch instance to configure our EC2 instance. Give it a name that you like. In our case, it's going to be just FC Hub. And next step would be to select an operating system for it. So let's go with Ubuntu. Let's make sure that it has the SSD volume type and 64-bit architecture. For the instance type, let's go with M5 large. And in the next step, we'll have to create a new keeper to safely log into our instance. So let's hit create new keeper. Let's give it a name again. And now let's save it. Great. Now, once you saved your keeper, we should go to the network settings, and here the defaults are right. We should allow SSH traffic from anywhere. And in the storage menu, we should just change the 8 to something like 20. So I'm just going to click it. We have 20 gigabytes. This is currently sufficient for running the hub. And once we have these settings done, we can launch the instance. Beautiful. So now the instance is being launched. We can, after it's done, we can navigate to the instance detail. So let's go here. We can see that the instance is already running. And now the last step in the EC2 setup is going to security and is changing the inbound and outbound traffic rules. So navigate to inbound rules tab, edit inbound rules, and now let's add some new rules. Beautiful. So as you can see, we are adding port 2282, and we're allowing for the traffic to come from anywhere. And we do the same for port 2283. Save rules. And now let's repeat the process for the outbound rules with the new ports. And similarly, we're using the port 2283 with the traffic from anywhere and 2282, and we're adding the port 443. Let's save these rules, and that concludes the EC2 setup. Let's move forward. Since Forecaster Identity is actually running on-chain, running a hub requires you to connect to Ethereum mainnet and Optimism mainnet in order to fetch the identity data. So for this, we need some RPC endpoints. For the sake of this tutorial, we'll be using Alchemy. Obviously, you can use whatever provider you want, or you can run the nodes yourself. But we'll be using Alchemy. I'm using Alchemy for running my own Forecaster hub as well. So here, go to Create New App, choose Ethereum and Ethereum mainnet, and give it a name again. Once you have a name, create app, boom, and that should be it. And go back to apps, and let's do the same for Optimism. Boom, create app, and we are done. From this dashboard, we will then fetch the API keys, but about that in a moment. Let's connect to our EC2 instance, and let's install Hubble. So first, you need to navigate to the folder where you have installed your keeper generated in the previous step. So you can see here, I am in this folder. And before we continue, we need to restrict the permissions on this file, just for some additional safety. So once we did that, let's get the IP of our instance. And once we are back in this menu, let's just copy the public IP address. Let's go back to the terminal, and let's just connect to our instance by running SSH Ubuntu to the public address, and let's point to the keeper that we have here. And just like this, let's continue, and boom, we are inside of the machine. Once we are inside of the machine, we can start installing Hubble. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller, and we can install Hubble these days just by running a simple install script that I'm just gonna copy paste. And yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. The first part of the setup just finished, and the script is asking us for providing our RPC endpoints. So let's do exactly this. Let's go to Alchemy. Let's copy the HTTPS endpoint for Ethereum mainnet. Let's do exactly the same thing for the OP endpoint. And now it's going to ask us for our forecaster username or the FID. I'm going to use the username, which is Woj, and it's going to continue downloading everything that it needs. So Hubble just downloaded everything that it needs and started syncing. And actually, since the version 1.5.2, instead of performing the full sync, by default, Hubble will just use a snapshot that is being updated every day. And instead of taking 2 hours to sync, it will take only a few minutes. So as you can see, syncing here is in progress, and it's going to finish in a moment. And after a short moment, the syncing just finished, and you can see that we started receiving enormous amount of logs from the system. So the hub is now running. Beautiful. Everything is running, and you're now officially a Forecaster Hub operator. To close the loop, maybe let's display some status and health metrics of your Forecaster Hub. So to do that, we will open Grafana, and Grafana is already running on the hub, but we need to have an access to it in our on our computer as well. So I'm going to close this window. It's totally fine to do it. The script will continue running, and I'm going to open a new terminal window, and we will do the same SSH connection as before, but now we're just going to add some port forwarding. So we're going to redirect the hub port 3000, where Grafana is living, to our computer. So now I open this SSH port, and when I go to localhost 3000, we're going to be able to display Grafana and all Grafana metrics. And from this point, you officially have everything that you need to know about your hub, from the sync status to number of peers that you're connected to, and all other metrics that you will need to determine if your hub is running properly or not. We will go over these metrics in another tutorial, and for now, congratulations on running your Forecaster Hub, and fortunately, you will now be able to build something on it. See you!